What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 436th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. Here again, it is me. Hi, Greg. Greg also here.
You could sound more excited that I'm here.
I'm
bringing
excited.
The heat. You're like, oh, I guess I'm here, and Greg is here too. I guess.
I'm thrilled.
I want to hear some spice in your voice. I want to hear some, it's been a week, I get to talk to you in person, that sort of energy that I bring to the table every time.
I got energy. We got things to talk about today.
Oh, no.
No, Will is traveling, which is probably better before Thanksgiving than after Thanksgiving, some would say.
I guess.
True.
Look, you're talking to a person that does not want to leave his house right now and hasn't for like a week and a half, so.
Yeah, it's Hey, Bobby's here.
Hey, and apparently I'm a sucker, according to Greg.
Yeah,
so,
you're the Pokemon Go sucker.
Kind of,
How many incubators have you bought since the last time we talked?
Okay, I only bought 2 yesterday to hatch the Magbees, and I did get one, a shiny one, so that was exciting.
So
how many remote raid passes have you purchased?
How many? I don't want to talk about remote raid passes. I'm in way too deep on remote raid passes.
See, so here's the question on the table: was I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I just don't like to admit it. That's all.
I feel like that's the common theme with most Pokemon fans.
Look, I pulled Braviary, so
there you go. But what did that cost you? What did that cost you, Greg?
0, because I only used the pitiful stream of gems they give me in game.
I don't think Greg has
such control.
Spent any money, Masters.
I spent $10 once.
Oh, did you do the permanent incubator, right?
Nope.
No.
This is way back when I was testing pull rates, I think. I was doing something stupid. I was seeing the difference between paid gems, like if there was an actual difference between paid gems and non-paid gems. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. But I figured, I was having enough fun at that time, to go back to talk to myself, that I thought, I'll give them $10 for this game. I should have not done that.
There is a bit of Pokemon Go news. We got some Pokemon Masters news. We got some Cafe Mix, but we're going to start with some Sword and Shield news here. By the time this podcast goes up, this will be over, but another month, another raid event in Sword and Shield. So overall, pretty happy they keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is off Pokemon.com. They actually didn't tweet this, at least that I saw over the weekend. I was waiting for them to tweet it. I don't think they did. Maybe there was too much on the social media plate, I guess. Too many memes to tweet before tweeting this. But it's track down shiny Squavit and more in max raid battles. The berry-loving Pokemon is the star of a weekend-long event in Sword and Shield. Somebody was really happy to write this first sentence. Things are getting nuts in Pokemon Sword and Shield from Thursday, November 19th from 4 to Sunday, November 22nd to 4 PST. Squavit will appear more frequently in max raid battles. While you're battling this cheeky Pokemon, you'll have a better chance of encountering a shiny Squavit. The data miners in Cerebi said that was 2% in 5-star raids. They
tweeted it.
Oh, they did tweet it. Okay.
On the 20th.
Oh, wow. They tweeted it early. I was expecting the Saturday tweet.
Oh, it was ahead of the memes.
Yeah, it was way ahead of their memes. I had to go through a lot of memes to get to this.
They do like 4 a day.
They do a lot.
Yeah, they do.
They just won, the people who run the social media, I think just won an award for it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was exciting.
During the event, you also notice the increased number of Cherubi, Amoonguss, Shiinotic, and Greedent. These Pokemon are very hungry because berries are plentiful, and that's pretty much it. So the rewards for this was actually really good. They rewarded a bunch of the berries that reduced your EVs if you were into competitive battling. So it's always nice, one, to do raids that feel like an event. And 2, it's nice when the rewards are good. Even if you don't get a shiny, you still feel like you're not wasting your time. Also, you got to max knuckle giant squirrels in the face.
That's all I did all weekend. And I never had a single shiny appear in my game.
No shiny for you, Bobby. Are you?
I mean, I've caught them. I've caught them in others, but all of my dens were just normal cheeks that I blasted into the universe.
I haven't played Sword and Shield in a little while. I was playing, and I still need to go back actually and get the rest of the Pikachu gifts before November 30th. But
you are running out of time, sir.
Bobby, we talked about this.
I know
Twitter.
We totally talked about this, and
we've talked about this multiple weeks.
Well, I got an Xbox Series S last week, and so I've been kind of.
There's no games on that.
There's no new games on it, but I haven't had an Xbox in years. So I've been.
Does it actually play old Xbox games, or does it pretend to play old?
I think it plays old ones.
Yeah, I have that Series S doesn't have a disc drive, so it's all digital. You can like re-download games you purchased before on the Xbox One and stuff and play those. So it works.
I have to put on a tinfoil hat theory here for this Squavit raids. There has been a lot of these this year. Obviously, the first time they did like a promoted raid event was over Christmas last year, which was like the Delibird, but there was no shiny Delibird. It was just, here's a bunch of Delibirds, and I think Delibird was dropping some item that people wanted, so it was like worth it to do.
It was dropping a lot of the XL candy.
Yeah, with a lot of candy.
A lot of candy.
And then like 2 weeks after that, they did the New Year's Eve Magikarp event, which everyone lost their mind for because it was like nonstop shiny Magikarps. It was like 1 in 8 chance of getting a shiny Magikarp, and it was Magikarp. And I think Magikarp was dropping really good rewards too. I think it was dropping a lot of candy as well. So you're just like, no, the Magikarp was dropping money. It was dropping like nuggets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, nuggets, big, yeah.
And
lots
then
of nuggets.
I feel like they didn't do anything until the like starter stuff where they put Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Mewtwo into raids. And that was like end of February, early March. And that was good because I remember that was dropping Life Orb, Fire Orb, and Toxic Orb, if I remember.
Yeah.
But you couldn't catch the Mewtwo or something, right?
You couldn't catch the Mewtwo.
Couldn't catch
and
the
it
Mewtwo.
was difficult the first day until everybody figured out what you had to do.
Yes.
Right.
Like raids in MMOs.
People were bringing their shinies to flex, and then Mewtwo would just destroy them.
And some people still brought their shinies to flex, and the rest of us had to carry you.
Yeah.
Vince.
And then there was a bunch that kind of started early summer, late spring, which was the Pikachu event, which was in August. And then there was like the Wailord event that was in September. And then there was the Gorgeist event last month. And then there was a Clefable event somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
That might have been. So yeah, somewhere in there was a Clefable event. But not every month this year had the event. There was also the Zeraora event in June. But in all those events, they've like changed the catch rate, and they've done this before.
Yeah.
So like Magikarp was like pretty much guaranteed whether you were a guest or a host, because it's a Magikarp. It's pretty easy to catch. Pikachu seemed pretty easy to catch for both guests and hosts. The Wailord seemed kind of hard for everyone to catch, because like Wailord has like technically Wailord has a harder catch rate than a Magikarp or a Pikachu. I don't remember the Clefable that well. Gorgeist seemed pretty easy. I don't think I failed the Gorgeist when I found it shiny. I don't think I failed the Gorgeist when I was a guest either, because I was using repeat balls. But for this event, it seemed almost impossible to catch a Squavit, which outside of raids, Squavit has the same catch rate as like a Pidgey or a Rattata. Like Squavit has the best catch rate, which is 255. But if you were a host and it was shiny, and Sarah B, I believe, tweeted this, if it was shiny and you were the host, it was guaranteed for you no matter what. And I tested that over the weekend on my Twitch streams with my viewers, and they were throwing Premier Balls or Pokeballs or like Dream Balls, and if they were the host and it was shiny, I don't think no one failed it. There was very, 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 very few people as a guest who went to try to catch it and failed. Even with something like a repeat ball, which should be 100% catch rate on a 255 Pokemon, but obviously promoted raids can adjust catch rates like we're talking about. But yeah, I even failed a Squavit, shiny Squavit. Repeat ball is like the best chance, better than like a Dusk Ball and everything. And it didn't work. And sounds like Greg, you had that issue as well.
Yes. I had multiple repeat ball failures in other people's raids because I never found one in my own, so I can't confirm about the 100% catch rate in your own. But I failed a lot. It's very frustrating because I've seen a lot of shinies and I only have a few. But yeah, repeat ball should have been. I'm like, it's just a Squavit. Like, it's super easy to catch. No, it's not.
It's just a Route 1 squirrel. So my tinfoil hat theory is now Game Freak is mad about people with past the events. So we've talked about like you can like guarantee a shiny in a raid by, moving your clock forward. And so when these events happen, instead of people going and doing raids, they'll just move the clock forward, find it, and then host it for people. Maybe they changed it, or this is just a weird coincidence to, well, we don't want people hosting anymore because then people aren't actually playing. They're just looking for somebody hosting it. And then they're just like, even if you're not a person that normally hosts, you could be like, well, I found it and I'm going to keep resetting it until all my like 7 friends get it. And then we're done for the weekend because the host would just have to turn their game off or, quit the raid. As long as the host doesn't catch it, it'll still exist. But if they changed it to, well, guests have a very small chance of catching it, the host is guaranteed to catch it, then you're not incentivized to host, and your friends are now incentivized to find their own and help out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as soon as you started talking about this catch rate.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. Like, people are still going to host and keep it open until everybody gets it. It just takes longer.
Of course, but I bet like I could see that someone hosting being just less likely to do it, thinking like, well, I'm just gonna catch it first anyways, and it could take hours for my friends to all catch it, so they can just go get their own.
Yeah, but it's still only a 2% chance of finding one. So the catch rate is still higher than finding one on your own.
Right.
So if you have your friends do it for over an hour, guarantee 4 of your friends in that hour will catch it, whereas I spent all weekend trying to find one in my game over multiple hours, and I never found one.
How many wishing pieces do you think you burned through?
I think I burned through 30, because I just don't spend it on wishing pieces. I was like, I'll do it this once, and then I was like, nope, I'm done. And I did find a bunch of 5 stars, but they just weren't shiny.
I probably went through like 200 pieces.
Oh my gosh. I don't think that it's like a foolproof plan. I mean, like obviously the best thing would be just if they just fix the issue. But I think it might just be something that they could at least test and see, what happens. I mean, maybe they come back from this and they're like, oh, nothing changed. So they go on doing their thing. But
it's definitely more of an inconvenience for the host, right?
Right.
Because like they have to keep resetting. And as long as
they were doing that anyways.
Well, yeah.
Just for a longer amount of time, though.
I mean, it's just longer.
Yeah, just longer because we don't know what the actual like Sarah B never tweeted like the guests have a 5% catch rate, right? We don't know. I know
he
that
he tweeted the worst or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
He tweeted like
I don't know what the
least
worst
chance
is.
Or something.
Is the worst like a 1%?
No, I don't know. He like literally said the words like, if you're hosting, it's guaranteed. If you're a guest, and then the words he said were like the worst chances or something like the least chance or something like that.
He's
a very odd
slowly
tweet.
turning into the Pokemon company by not just saying numbers.
Yeah, he didn't say numbers. He used a phrase like terrible chances or something like that.
I think if you were somebody that was hosting every one of these events, the Clefable, the Wailord, the Pikachu, the whatever, and now all of a sudden you have to do it a lot more times.
if it takes longer and it's on the weekend and it's right before a holiday in America, at least, people are going to do it.
Okay, so your argument is this is not affecting the people that are already resetting their... Okay, but what, what about
it may not be, but that I still think that was maybe the potential attempt from the
I think
Pokemon
that's maybe
company.
what they thought, but I don't think that's what happened.
But what about the people joining? So I would I would argue those people are even more lazy because they're not turning off their game and setting their clock forward like however many times to do it for shiny. They're just looking for the hand me out. And I get this all the time on Twitch where somebody will come in and they'll be like, hey, is anyone hosting? I got this weekend, right? It wasn't a lot. It was more when Sword and Shield first came out. But people would come in and they'd be like, is anyone hosting this event? I'm looking for the shiny. And so if, assuming tinfoil hat, they did this to crack down on that, those people might be like, oh, this is taking too long. I've done this like 7 times and I haven't caught the Squovit. I'm just going to give up or I'm just going to look for it myself. It could affect those people.
It could, but I mean, we're dealing against the time sink problem too. Like, once you cross the limit of, I've done this 7 times. Well, I've already done this so many times. I'm already so far down this path. I'm going to keep going until I get it. Like, there's equal chances that they're going to bail as they are going to hunker down until they get it because now they're mad at it. Like, both are in play. I don't think this worked as they intended it to. I think it was a test. I don't think it did probably what they were thinking it would do. Because I saw people who were like, I'm having it open for the next 24 hours. Just let me know and I'll give you a code. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
well,
for somebody like me who's playing every day, it's really easy for me to like go to the Isle of Armor, go to the beach where like the 3 raid dens are literally sitting next to each other, and just go in this triangle of dropping wishing pieces. Wishing pieces are, if you're not playing every day, and you're not collecting watts, you might not have like an inventory of like 500 wishing pieces just sitting. And now that I'm like low on wishing pieces, I know that like they're probably going to do an event for December. So I'm going to check all my raid dens every day. I'm going to visit Diggin' Pa, and I'm going to stock up on watts to get more wishing pieces. So when December comes, I'm not wasting time grinding watts. I'm just wasting time throwing wishing pieces in a hole for whatever thing pops up. Assuming there is a December event.
I found Joe's tweet. It was actually not Sarah B. It was Joe's personal account.
Oh.
He tweeted, the catch rate of the shiny Squivit is hosting guaranteed. Joining lowest chance.
Yeah, I have. Did it say shiny Squivit?
Shiny Squivit,
okay, yeah. Because if it was a 5-star regular Squivit and you were host, it was not guaranteed catch rate. But he did say shiny. Okay.
Yeah, he said the catch rate of the shiny Squivit hosting guaranteed. Joining lowest chance. The lowest chance, like legendary?
Like
chance?
less than a 1%?
I mean, it can't have been that low, or I was very lucky, because I did not do that many shiny dens in all and told. And I would say I got in 10 shiny dens and I caught 3.
That's not...
It's not terrible.
Not terrible. It's not Squivit, not typical Squivit catch rate, but it's not terrible.
But it's also I never found a shiny den in my game this entire weekend doing it myself.
I found one. Yeah, I found one myself, and I did about 200 wishing pieces.
That's a lot of wishing pieces.
Yeah.
It is. Well, I mean, I found a lot of 5-star Squivits. It's just that only one was shiny.
I did too. I never found any that were shiny.
Ironically, my very first 5-star Squivit was the shiny one, and then I didn't find anything since.
Oh, wow. Keep you coming back.
Yeah, I used all my luck up right away. This is off digitalinformationworld.com.
Why do you go to these garbage sites?
Just the best sources, huh?
What?
Look, it had the article. It had the news I needed the news from.
Digital information what?
Digitalinformationworld.com.
Wowzers.
Their title is Call of Duty Mobile and Among Us will fight for the title of Best Mobile Game 2020. Now, the reason I pulled this article is because the nominees for the Game Award 2020 is no surprise. Call of Duty has grabbed a spot in the Best Mobile Game category. However, there's tough competition. Let's be clear here. They say that, I'm reading from digitalinformationworld.com. They said there's tough competition coming from Innersloth's breakout title, Among Us. Sure, I mean, Among Us is 2 years old, but okay.
Yeah, but nobody heard about it until this year.
Does that mean it's a breakout? Like,
it's kind
a
of
breakout hit.
It's kind of like Best New Artist at the Grammys when it's like, that person's been
This is their
recording
fourth
music
album.
for like 15 years.
Okay, all right, that's fair. There are other popular titles on the list. The ones that the reason I brought up this article is the other titles on the list are Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix are nominated to go head-to-head against Call of Duty and Among Us in the most popular category. This author is very, very set on the other three not having a chance here.
I mean, I've just gotten into Genshin Impact, which is dangerous.
Yeah, I saw an ad for that and thought, I think you had mentioned it a couple podcasts ago, so I immediately thought of you.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh,
I was finally convinced to download it, and it is very, very, very pretty.
Yeah.
That's the number one danger sign of me playing a game.
Just goes in and describes all the games. Genshin Impact is a gacha game. Legends of Runeterra is a free-to-play digital collectible card game made by Riot. And then Cafe Mix is the game that I refuse to play because I don't want to turn my phone sideways.
You are...
Yeah, that's just the worst reason to not play a game. Honestly.
I mean, it really is. It makes zero sense.
Also, like your palm kind of covers the speaker on the iPhone, at least.
How are you holding your phone? Your palm cups it and makes the speaker point the sound at you.
No, I would say
Yes.
my phone is in my hand right now. I would say that the what's the thing right below your index finger? That's like that for me overlaps the speaker because I want to put my index fingers to wrap around the top of the phone. I want to hold it like a PlayStation controller.
I don't understand how you're holding your phone.
Well, I can't
Yeah,
take a
you
picture of me
really-
holding my phone when I'm holding the phone. I need another phone to do that.
Well, get Irene in.
All right. I will hold my phone,
Send me it.
have my
Send me it.
wife take a picture of me holding the phone, and then send it to you.
Thank
So
you.
what I'm gathering here, and take it back to a line from Apple, is that you're just holding the phone wrong.
Yeah, probably. And then you
Okay,
use like your
got
middle
it.
fingers to like put it behind the phone for like stability.
What? Do we have the same amount of
What?
fingers?
Yeah, well, I hope you
Are
have
you
10.
missing fingers?
I got 10.
No.
I got 10.
Where are you put? Okay, so if we can't have this conversation, we literally cannot have this conversation.
I'm holding my phone right now in front of me.
Me too.
So best mobile games: Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix.
I mean, who's the Game Awards?
The Game Awards
Digital information.
is the Game Awards. TheGameAwards.com.
But who are they?
Isn't it like the About? Here, I'll click the About. It's run by Jeff Keighley. It was founded in 2014 by media entrepreneur Jeff Keighley, who has also hosted other things.
Whoa.
Best known for working with Entertainment Weekly, Spike TV, G4, and YouTube.
Spike TV and G4 are winners of networks.
He's got 1.2 million followers on Twitter.
There's a board of directors that has somebody from Activision, somebody from EA, somebody from Epic, somebody from AMD, somebody from Stadia. Kojima is on the board. Rockstar. Riot. I don't know. This is like they said
Okay, if these people
2014.
are on the advisory boards and their games are up for awards, this is a conflict of interest. I'm calling ethics violations on this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing this for what, like 8 years now?
You said 2014, right?
Yeah.
That's 6 years.
6.
Oh, yeah, 6 years. I don't know why I thought it was... in my mind, it's 2022. And everything
sort of
feels
like it.
solved.
Except for how you hold your phone.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly not that. It's, yeah, I feel like Cafe Mix was like, we just need to throw something up here. Maybe, is Cafe Mix actually that good?
I think Cafe Mix is that popular. I mean, when I was playing it regularly, it was very fun. It's a fun puzzle game, and it's very cute. Like, if you take the 2 seconds to turn your phone the right way, which the game does automatically for you, you just actually need to physically move your hand for approximately half a second to get it in the right position. You would see that the game is kind of fun.
I'll get around to it, maybe.
No, you won't. I'm gonna text Irene right now to say take a picture of how you hold your phone.
I actually haven't played Cafe Mix yet, but I'm going to download it and play it just because Steve won't play it because you have to turn it
Hey,
sideways.
I installed it.
Oh, I installed it too. I never actually ended up playing it.
It's no Magikarp
install it
jump.
again.
A perfect vertical game, some would say.
How is that perfect? It was a cookie clicker.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Well, we've seen your trims.
I love trims. This is off, Spencer sent this in. This is off Pokemon Masters tweeted it, and it's on their Instagram. I'll just sum it up real quick. They showed a trailer. Sword and Shield people are coming to Pokemon
Something
Masters.
Short and something Shield is coming to Pokemon Masters.
Oh, that's exciting, right? That breathes a little life into the game.
Yeah.
You guys were worried a little bit about it a
Well,
couple weeks ago.
Well,
adding new characters doesn't, I wouldn't say breathe life into the game. It breathes money into the game.
Well, that's money equals life in mobile game worlds.
A lot of the comments I'm reading are people thinking it's Gloria, and based on there's a howl in the trailer. I'm really bad at anytime there's audio hints in a trailer, I can never hear them.
Because you got the speaker of your phone covered with your hand.
Yeah,
That's
your
true.
hands.
Yeah, that's why I always have to keep it vertical because my ears are sensitive. I can't remember if people were saying it was Zamazenta or Zacian, but I guess if they're doing Gloria and Victor, I guess they're probably going to give them Zamazenta and Zacian, which is weird because who are they giving the starters to if they decide to do that? Because Hop wouldn't get a starter. Hop would get double.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I played the thing and I can hear the howl. I don't know which howl that is. Are their howls different?
Yeah, their howls are different.
Is there a YouTube about the howls? Is there a howl?
Sure there is, probably.
And Gloria is the female avatar, right?
Yeah, she's the female protagonist.
Well, who do they usually give the starters to?
The
In Masters?
protagonist.
Yeah, usually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Lyra has the Chikorita, and then Ethan has Cyndaquil, and then
Brendan has Trico, right?
Brendan has Trico. Chris has Totodile. Somebody has Totodile. Chris does.
Chris has Totodile. And, Red, Blue, and Green have all those starters.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Whether or not they bring Gen 8 trainers to Pokemon Masters, people will continue to be upset that Diantha is still not in the game. Which I don't understand who these people are.
she's the greatest.
She's such a bad...
She is so good. She's one of the best champions.
She has... Patrat has more character development in...
You are so wrong.
in Black and White than Diantha has in X and Y.
Because you don't read. You skip past story.
There's no
like, gobble, 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 gobble.
story in
Yeah,
X
there
and
is.
Y.
She comes up multiple
She
times.
shows up in a cafe with Lysander, and they try to do this thing of this isn't possibly the guy. The guy wearing all red isn't possibly the guy that's in charge of Team Flare. And she goes, excuse me, young person, Mr. P, Big D, whatever nickname these bad characters gave you, I gotta go shoot a movie. And then you don't see her for 30 hours.
Because she's got a life, Steve.
Yeah, she's shooting a movie.
And
She's literally told you where she was going to be for the next 30
like,
hours.
Hanging out.
I hate when N shows up every 5 seconds. It's all about N. So you finally have a champion. It's like, I'm going to go live my own life, and you can do whatever. I'm going to show you how awesome I am. I have a career. I am taking care of myself. I'll be back later. And you're like, that's terrible. But the person that shows up every 5 seconds, you're also like, he's the worst. The game's just about N. There's no pleasing you.
Let me tell you. My favorite movie star in the Pokemon world, Bryson, man.
Bryson
has he is even courteous enough to take you on set. Deantha doesn't show me where she works.
Because I believe, and I will quote this from you, I hate this movie set. Why do they make me do this? I want to skip it. This is so awful. This takes so much time. Why am I doing this? Nobody ever comes back here.
Yeah,
you hurt Bryson's feelings, and Bryson then went and told Deantha, like, yeah, don't take that guy to your cool set. Because he'll just spit in your face for being kind and say that this was the worst experience of his life. So don't do it. And she's like, oh yeah, I can smell the desperation on that kid.
Yeah, she understands.
Nah, I got my own life to lead. I'll be back later when it's important, when you are worthy of my time.
Deep cuts from Pokemon.
real question, because I played X and Y pretty recently, and I don't remember. Does she actually show up like halfway through the story? I know she shows up like when you meet Lysander in the cafe when you first arrive to Lumiose, but I don't remember the second time she shows up. But I think she does show up one more time.
She does. She shows up one other time, or... Oh, God. I haven't played it since... When did those games come out?
2012?
Looks like she meets you again in Comarine City.
Yeah.
Comarine? Is that the one with the docking stations?
There's a bunch of boats.
Yeah, the boats.
The one with all the boats. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she checks in on you halfway through. Are you worthy? Nope, you're not. Okay, I'm out. I got some stuff to film. I got a couple commercials to get done.
All right. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll go through the, as Niantic says, the biggest update to Pokemon Go ever.
And the worst name ever.
Yeah.
We will be right back. But your player character in this game is called Chase, and the female character is called Elaine. Elaine.
Like you got Trace, you got Chase, and Elaine. Like you got Trace, you got Chase, and Elaine.
And we are back. All right, we got a bit of Pokemon Go news, so let's try to get through this together. We can do this. Niantic will be proud. This is all going to be off PokemonGoLive.com. First bit of news, I think is some good news here. We'll start with the good news. I think this is all pretty good news. Okay. So this was on Thursday evening. To continue adapting to the changing global environment and response to the situation becoming more difficult for many of our players, we are returning the following bonus beginning Thursday, November 19th. Increased effectiveness of incense effectiveness will be increased, now attracting Pokemon to you more often. Your buddy will now bring you more gifts each day, up to 5 gifts at once, up to 3 times a day. I don't know what's happening in your... Maybe if you paid attention to your buddy, Greg.
Oh.
He's my best buddy. We play every day. I just got a sticker on Sablei's forehead, which is the weirdest place of him to put it, but whatever.
Yep,
there it is.
Oh, the ribbon?
Yeah, it's on his head.
Yes, that's what they did with
Why?
Bonsly. They just slapped it on his head, and I was like, I'm into this.
Farfetch'd has it probably on his chest.
Everything else has it on his chest except for Sableye is like, boink.
These bonuses are temporary, but they will remain in the game through, at minimum, through June of 2021. And we will give at least 1 month's notice before they change.
Monday, they're changing.
That's good. That's better than the, I don't know, what was it, maybe 24-hour notice that we had that they were going away last time. So that's nice.
When we covered the news of them removing those 2 bonuses, was like exactly a month ago.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Has it only been a month, really, that those bonuses... Was it only this month that those bonuses were gone?
No, I think they went in...
2 months worth, right, of bonuses?
Yeah, I think they went in September.
Yes, because they updated the original article. So if I go to the URL, it says 2020-09-29. So a little over a month.
So only October.
Yeah, so that they would have...
Oh, yeah.
And most of December. I mean, it was a month and a half.
And most of November.
A month and a half,
got it.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I forgot what month we were in.
I thought it was 2022 about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I haven't left my house in like 8 months, so everything looks the same. Oh, wait, I moved a month ago, but other than that, I totally left my house.
Other than completely picking up everything and moving it to a different house, I haven't left the house.
I still stand by that Niantic gets so much flack for this kind of stuff, but no one ever blames like the Pokemon Company.
Well,
if Niantic was to be like, hey, we're going to remove the... If like September 30th or whatever, they were like, we're going to remove the incense and... What was the other thing? The buddy stuff? And the Pokemon Company didn't step in and say like, no, don't do that to our players, our own customers that can also probably buy merch and watch the anime, and we don't want to make... Like, what is happening between these two companies where it took them 45 days to be like, you know, that decision was bad? Like, is it actually just like a translation barrier? Is it just because everyone's working at home and they like send an email and no one checks that email for like 2 weeks? Like, why? Like, I would maybe bet if the Pokemon Company was an American company, we wouldn't have to wait so long for simple changes to happen. But maybe I don't know. maybe we would.
I think because they have to look at it on a global perspective and make a decision that's for everybody. So I guarantee you that Niantic has to make the decision looking at their global numbers, run the numbers, then send it to the Pokemon Company, and then they're going to check everything again and then send it back. Like, there's no way that's happening in under 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at they're looking at month-end numbers, right? And,
right.
I can tell you as an accountant, like, it takes time to like get those official. I mean, you don't want to just throw estimates at them and be like, well, this was this or this did that. And so, I mean, I could see it being like a month to realize like, oh, we took a hit because of this. I don't know. I mean, if you look at how the world is doing right now, I guess you don't need a month to look at that and be like, maybe we should put those bonuses back in the game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, from a money
I would have
standpoint,
argued they shouldn't have made the decision in the first place. Like, when they cut it off, the trend was really bad.
What if it took them 45 days to get to this point? Does that mean it took them 45 days to decide, hey, let's start removing? So if they removed the bonus on October 1st, that means they would have started talking about it
when things were a lot better. Yep.
Which would have been like August 15th, because August 15th is yeah. And in August it was looking better. Yeah, for sure.
It was probably even before that, to be honest, because planning to like remove a feature like that, I don't think that has to do so much with like, it's not as monetary as, I think they were just like, well, we want to get the game kind of back to where it was before. That was probably a decision made a while ago as they saw the pandemic kind of not being as bad as it was in like March, April, but it was still, I don't know, it's never been like good. But I think that decision was made quite a while ago. And then immediately when that happened and they got all the backlash, they were like, oops, we need to look into reversing this.
The only other thing that I can think of like why this took so long to revert, that's the right word, is because they were arguing of like, well, what are we doing in the future? And if the argument was a bunch of people in a boardroom or on a Zoom call saying, well, let's revisit it in March, and then somebody be like, no, let's do April, and then finally, I guess they decided June, which is, I feel, extremely generous, but maybe not. But saying that the bonuses will remain in the game minimum through June of 2021 doesn't seem like a light decision. It seems like there was probably some back and forth.
Probably, but I think there's a few things that could lead to a decision like that. One being I don't think that they're losing a whole... I mean, they're probably making more money, right? They're making more money with these things being in game the way they are. I mean, people are buying more incense because they are getting... because it's so much better. And to be fair, when they did remove the bonus, they didn't say it, but like it didn't remove it back to 5 minutes for every spawn. It was like 90 seconds per spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like even sitting on my couch, like I was still getting a spawn every 90 seconds. And that was a nice little surprise after being, it was a little roller coaster of emotion of like, oh, they took these bonuses away. I'm so bummed. And then like, oh, well, it's not that bad. Every 90 seconds. And
what would have fixed that? Clear communication.
Okay. So that's the thing. I think the biggest thing isn't removing features or what are they doing with features. It's the communication of it all. So if like what they said now, they're going to give a month's notice before they decide to take this away. That's great. That would be really great to have a month's notice to be like, okay, in a month, these things are going to revert and now we're ready for it versus 24 hours when I may have bought a bunch of incense in the last day because I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to buy some incense for the next week or whatever, right? Like a month is a good amount of time to know something's going to go away. Also, I think that a time frame like June, I don't remember if the data was out yet already when this decision was made, but like, I mean, that's kind of an idea of like vaccine for stuff for the pandemic when like it's widely going to be potentially available. So maybe there was ideas of like, that might be a safe bet is to like go middle of next year.
Oh, I was thinking July is their big month. So we roll back all the changes in June.
But I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense from a standpoint, like from that standpoint to roll everything back, because I feel like rolling everything back in June when July's your big month, you're betting that like all of a sudden everyone's going to be like, okay, now we're all just going to go outside.
Yeah.
Well,
they are making bad bets for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that like we get Go Fest in July?
I think we get some kind of in-person one, maybe, definitely a virtual one.
I can see in-person one. I can see a Go Fest in person just because it's outside as a versus like a PAX or an E3, which is like indoors.
Right. I think that it also depends just where we are.
I heard aside from Greg.
The problem is it would be outdoors, but if things aren't going to change, you can't have it be hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can probably safely get away with an hour outdoors, but you still have to limit the amount of people there. Like,
You
everything that's here.
I mean, to be fair, when we were at Go Fest in Chicago, it was pretty easy not to be by anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they were to pick the same location,
until you went over to the trade area and they were all
okay. Yeah. So yes, the trade area and for the spooky area was probably the biggest, but
the ones in the middle.
There was that like swampland in between the trade area and the fountains where it was like all muddy and gray, where like no one was, but you had to like trudge through it to get to the. But they could pick an area that big, and they could literally just invite half the amount of people. And you would have probably 20 feet around you at all times. I mean, obviously, unless you're playing with your own friend group, which is the same situation on the plane, which is don't sit by anyone unless they're your friends or family that you are traveling with. Then you are allowed to sit in the center seat. If not, you are not allowed to sit in the center seat.
Which is still not... Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of compromises to all of this.
I mean, I think it's hopeful to say that they'll be able to have an outdoor event July of next year. I think that is the absolute best case. Everything goes right over these next 6 months for that to happen.
And that's definitely trended well in 2020, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we have to sort of be honest as to what the vaccine is and how quickly it can be produced. And the fact that the general public won't even begin to see the first hint of it until May of next year.
Right, exactly.
Like, unless there's some major, like, a million things go right between now and then, that is a far off hope that they'll be able to have an in-person event next year.
So, similar to a lot of things that are happening currently, do I think they should have an event in person? No. Do I think they will have an event in person? Probably.
Yes.
So,
well, they had to cancel the Kyoto event, which they tweeted about. I think Niantic support tweeted about. I mean, the official Japanese Pokemon Go tweeted that. I don't really probably no reason for the American Pokemon Go to tweet, "Hey, this Japanese event is canceled."
Was that the city tour one?
That was the city tour one. So there was 4 city tours. We talked about those last week. The Taiwan, Auckland, the Kyoto, and then I can't remember the last one. But the Kyoto one got canceled. I want to say Japan had 500 cases in a single day, which is the highest it's been since, I want to June? Or maybe...
Yeah, they spiked on the 19th, which is... And like it's just keep getting worse. Like, they had been way down over the summer. But again, everywhere had been way down over the summer months. Mm-hmm. So, like, in the Southern Hemisphere where they're hitting summer, they will all probably be fine.
Right. Well, and you got, like, New Zealand, Auckland, where there's no cases or very single-digit cases.
But they are very, like, they do things that nobody else in the world is doing, so...
Right. No, absolutely.
But again, this goes back to... The Pokemon company has to approve these decisions. If Niantic was like, hey, we want to do 4 city events in 4 cities that seem relatively safe, one of the cities being like in Japan, and the Pokemon company says, yes, we approve these cities, they're at a base level, I mean, they're agreeing to let Niantic do this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're okay with doing smaller city events... Now, when it's the worst it's been, I'm not saying I agree with it. It just seems very likely that they will definitely try they, as in the Pokemon company and Niantic, try to do events. I mean, we already saw, excluding Niantic, we've already saw the Pokemon company tweet that they're trying to get the TCG back up in Japan with the TCG glass shield things. Like they look like you went to prison and like you're sitting, one person's in jail, the other person's not, and you're like arguing about like who's getting the kids in the next weekend, and they've also rolled out like new rules for the TCG where like instead of your opponent cutting your deck, they will like point at a thing of how many times they want you to cut it in front of them.
I mean, I think they'll try, and most likely, just like the Kyoto event, it will be canceled.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
it just depends.
I just don't think that in 6 more months it will be in control.
Right, at least in control enough to be having like a big
massive event.
A massive.
I will say in 6 months it will be in control in every country but the United States.
Also a somewhat safe bet.
Well, now we can all point to Sweden.
Okay. This is their biggest update here. This is what they say, not me.
Not me. Don't even confuse that this is coming from me. I would never say these things.
Trainers. Since we began our journey together over 4 years ago, Pokemon Go has evolved in many ways. From the addition of battles, raid battles, trainer battles, Team Go Rocket battles, to the discovery of over 600 different Pokemon that can be encountered in the game, the world of Pokemon Go has changed and expanded in new ways. The week of Monday, November 30th, Pokemon Go will go beyond. We will be making changes to how trainers can level up and implementing seasons a new way to experience in-game events. But not only that, but Pokemon originally discovered in the Kalos region will be coming to Pokemon Go. Let's start with these are the three things: the level cap, the seasons, and the Kalos Pokemon. Let's just start with the Kalos Pokemon because I don't think there's really a lot here. Starting Wednesday, December 2nd, we'll be meeting Pokemon first discovered in the region where dreams and adventures begin. Kalos, I don't think that's true. While with the recent arrival of Mega Evolution of Pokemon Go, it feels timely that Pokemon originally discovered in the Kalos region, the region where Mega Evolution were first discovered, will make their debut. Yeah, sure, I guess. Okay. I don't know. The problem with this is, like, I don't know who to blame. Just the state of how they have to, like, conduct their mobile game, but it's like 5 Pokemon. They said over 20, but like 20 are not appearing. It's like 5 and then you have to evolve them. So it's Chespin.
Yeah, it's 7.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. It's 7. Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, Bunnelby, Fletchling, Litleo, and then Klefki. Klefki will be
Diggersby, though,
exclusive to France.
What?
Look, let France have something.
No. Why do we have to let France have something? I want a key.
We got the Statue of Liberty. They got Klefki.
They gave us the Statue of Liberty.
And we're giving them Klefki.
Japan's giving them Klefki.
You're right. Yes, you're actually right. Japan probably made that decision. It was probably Masuda themselves.
They can have the key.
They also, this is off. I've also seen that there's like there will be a raid exclusive Pokemon. We don't know what that is yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be like the Shinx or the Clink. Clink was the Gen 5 one.
I think it'll be Scatterbug.
No way they put a bug in eggs.
They would not put bug in there. That's a 7K egg if I ever heard one.
It's a 1-star raid.
Uh-huh.
It's Gen 6. I mean, they're doing all this trading stuff now. Like long distance trading. Something makes me feel like it's going to be Scatterbug and then Vivillon's going to have a whole trade aspect to it.
Yeah, I think they did another trade thing this past weekend, right? It's currently going on now.
Mm-hmm. Until
Monday.
The 23rd. Yeah.
And now instead of it being like 5 miles, it was like 30 miles or something?
40 kilometers. So, I don't know. Put that in miles.
Nobody knows what 40
miles or
means.
something, but yeah, 40 kilometers seems to be about the distance that you can trade with someone.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're eventually just going to pull the trigger on this, right, and just do trade with anyone.
Well, they did mention in that article with the bonuses coming back, they did mention that there are other bonuses that will be happening during events. So trading for longer distances will be coming back during events.
I know what's going into raids. Furfru and Furfru haircuts.
God.
You have to collect all the haircuts.
I don't. Yeah, I guess it could be Scatterbug.
You know they're going to do it. They did all the different ones for Deoxys. They're going to make you hunt 5-star raids.
I just don't think
Egyptian
Furfru
hair.
would be a 1-star. Furfru just seems like a 3-star to me.
Yeah, it won't be a 1-star because it's since it doesn't have any evolutions or anything. But I really think it's going to be Scatterbug. I just think that the testing of these long distance trading and this 1-star mystery egg during Kalos release and Vivillon being what it is just means I think it would be if nothing else, I think it would be really cool if they did it. So Niantic, if you're listening and you've already made plans, change them and put Scatterbug in.
We know you're good at changing directions on a dime.
Hey, you've got about 16 days. You can, or no, not even. You've got about 10 days or 11 days before this happens.
Just other possibilities. Flabebe, probably not. Skidoo, Pancham, Esper, Honage. They could do Honage. I mean, they put Clink in, and Clink is like very far in the Pokedex. And Clink was like a Unova debut, right?
Yep.
Okay, when looking at the article, the specific article for the Kalos region, not the main article, they actually say about the mysterious raid egg that they're going to be tracking the progress of this egg on our social channels. And we might need your help to get it to hatch sooner.
Furfru.
It's Furfru, and it's going to be all the haircuts.
Yeah, I don't know. Scatterbug's just, like, for a hardcore player, Scatterbug makes sense. And maybe, I'm not saying that Pokemon Go fans aren't hardcore. Because they are in their own way. But there are people I would consider, so I'm going to word this carefully. I would consider people who watch Pokemon streams every day on Twitch, which is a small amount of people. I would say they're pretty hardcore to the fact that they're literally watching Pokemon content every day. And so many of them don't know how Vivillon worked. And I dedicated like 2 weeks to, getting all the Vivillons through GTS trading in Pokemon Home. And the amount of times it was kind of shocking how people just didn't know, like, Vivillon had 20 forms and like 2 forms were exclusive and you could only get forms by doing this and you can't breed it and stuff. So if it is Vivillon and Niantic's already bad at communicating, like, I think it's cool. Like, it is obviously the not the original, but it is a Pokemon. No, it is like the original region exclusive Pokemon. Like, it is exclusive to specific regions of a 3DS, not exclusive to like whether your DS was a Japanese game or a Korean game or whatnot. So I guess the balance is like, we're 4 years into the game. We're about to get eventually Vivillon, but Niantic has been doing testing for long distance tradings. But they've clearly wanted to protect region-exclusive Pokemon. So are they protecting region-exclusive Pokemon? Or are they just giving up at this point and just doing trading?
Well, yeah, but we're also seeing it with the Lake Trio already being...
Yeah, but the difference between Vivillon and Lake Trios existed for like a year and a half. And you know that they're not turning them shiny. Because people are going to freak out that they can finally get Azelf and Uxie and Mesprit. And then in like 6 more months, they'll be like, we're doing it again. But this time it's shiny because we want to double dip.
Right.
It's just, to me, Vivillon is too new for them to do that. But the recent trades that they keep doing makes it seem like maybe they don't care as much anymore.
Yeah,
but then it's like they're putting Klefki in France, so like they're still like I don't know what do they care or do they not care? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like again, the trading is only 40 kilometers, right? It's not like it's worldwide trading. So
it's 24 miles.
That's what I'm not worried about it, but I'm just thinking there's no actual technical limitation of 40 miles to unlimited. They could just flip a switch.
No, but I'm saying like they can still care about regionals because like unless you've still traveled to that place, like it's not like I can go trade someone in France right now for a Klefki or when it comes out. Like it's still only 40 kilometers, right? So someone still has to have traveled there that is within 40 kilometers of me. So I mean, maybe they hold off on that, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it also does say it's some mysterious Pokemon. Scatterbug is not the most.
I mean, they use mysterious Pokemon real loosely. I mean, they're real loose with their definitions. Let's be real.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there. It could be something that's not even Kalos, It could be something from an earlier gen, but...
Well, let's move this conversation into seasons, which I feel like no one is talking about.
Because they did it in the game for one game and then promptly dumped it.
What? No, that literally has nothing to do with Black and White. I mean, yeah, sure, Black and White had seasons, but like in a game that takes place in real life that kind of had seasons before, this actually makes sense that they're cementing it. Because they would be like, well, you can only get, I see Spheal all the time, but I'm more in like a wintry biome or a water icy biome. But this to me is exciting because it just makes more sense, I guess. to be like, okay,
Does it, though?
we're seeing wintry Pokemon. Okay, now we're seeing spring. Now we're seeing summer. Now we're seeing fall. I think so.
I guess that's true. I just thought that the weather system worked pretty well in what it did.
Well,
and what
they're
it's
not
been
getting rid
doing.
of the weather. It'll still work with.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
I just don't know what they are improving with seasons that wasn't already done in weather.
Oh.
Right. I think that what they're doing, I don't know. You want to explain the article, Steve?
Yeah. So ideally, what's happening is there's going to be two hemispheres. A spoiler. IRL, there are two hemispheres. I don't know if anyone taught you that. So seasons will be, spoiler, 3 months long because they're 12 months in a year. And different Pokemon will appear in different seasons. So, for example, the first season will start on December 1st and will go December, January, February. And ideally, those would be more... well, this is what they say here. They say, for example, in the first season, Pokemon appearing in winter will be in the northern hemisphere, while Burmy, Darumaka, and other Pokemon in the summer will be more in the southern hemisphere. And I think what they can do, and obviously they mentioned Deerling, because there's 4 forms of Deerling per season. And I think what they can do, and what works in Pokemon Go, in my opinion, is that they can cut down... There's 600 Pokemon, right? And technically, all of those Pokemon can spawn, with the exception of the Pokemon they specifically turn off, which, as far as I know, like, Yamask is turned off and, like, Delibird is turned off, right?
Yeah, but, like, what about Gen 4 and 5, like, second level evolutions?
Okay, well, they didn't turn those on yet, but even if we...
Oh, okay. Got
even
it.
if we don't count those, even if you looked at the first 3, which I'm pretty sure, like, Sceptile can technically spawn in the wild, even though I've never seen one.
Yeah, I got, the other day, Incense spawned an Aggron.
Oh, that's really cool. Dang.
Yeah.
So you have all of these Pokemon that exist, and they technically all are spawning, but the chance of you seeing, like, an Aggron feels like almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So with seasons, they can be like, well, we have 200 Pokemon we're spawning in this season instead of 600 Pokemon. Or even less. They can maybe even say 100 or 150. And now instead of maybe getting like if you open up your Pokemon Go right now, it's probably like Rattata, Zubat, Pidgey, and Purloin or something. And it's like all garbage Pokemon that you don't really care about.
I mean,
Well,
I don't know that season's changing that.
There's an event right now, so...
But if they could set it where, like, hey, this month you're getting Patrat, next season you're only getting Rattata, the season after that you're only getting Bidoof, right? They can at least cut down on the trash to be like, well, I'm only seeing this trash Route 1 Pokemon for the next 3 months, instead of Rattata, Bidoof, Patrat.
I think they're being really optimistic about what they're going to cut out and what they're going to include. I have a feeling all the trash is sticking around.
I don't think
no
so.
matter what season it is.
I think they fall into classifications, and I think if they want, there might be a small chance where like Rattata isn't completely cut out, but I feel like if they're doing seasons, they're just going to straight up cut Pokemon, because they've already done this with like Yamask and Delibird. And
I mean, I think they're going to cut Pokemon, but I don't think that they're going to cut the trash.
No, I'm just saying the trash.
I think Rattata is going to be around forever.
There's so much trash already in Pokemon that they're just cutting the trash into 4 different segments. Like, think of how much garbage, like how many Route 1 bug Pokemon you see, how many Route 1 cat Pokemon do you see, how many Route 1 rodent Pokemon do you see? There's just so much of that.
What season is Rat?
It doesn't, like, that's the irrelevant part, right? Like, you can make Patrat spawn literally in every season. So just pick one to put him in.
Well, I don't think they're going to pick one. I think they're going to limit the ones that match seasons and still keep the trash.
I mean, just based on what they're saying in the article, it seems like that, but I mean...
Because, like, their examples, while Burmy and Darumaka, which don't appear already very much, would only appear more in summer. I don't have a strong sense that they're going to be like, well, Bidoof is a spring, and Rattata's a summer, Like, I think those things are just the baseline. This
Are
trash is always going to be
forgetting
here.
that we've literally seen Rattata for 4 years? Like that.
No.
That is what they're fixing, though. That is why seasons
I don't think
is
that's what
exciting.
they're fixing.
But they've already started doing that now, right? Because they already talked about how they've changed spawns here and there. And I mean, I don't know that they would. So you think they're just going to like literally take, like, let's say it's just 600 Pokemon. You think they're going to take 150 of each and just throw them all into a specific season?
Yes.
And then I will never see a Rattata in fall if it's a spring Pokemon.
Yes, I 100% believe that.
I don't think that's gonna.
I don't think
true.
that's
Because you have to think about people who are new to the game as well.
Okay, trade it.
And
Okay, wait. You want Delibird? You got to wait an entire year to get it, or you trade it. They've already done
but
that.
that's one special Pokemon that they made special when they released it for the first time.
Yeah, and they've made Pokemon like Dratini special and Mareep special, but now it's not special anymore. But it doesn't even feel special when they bring it back, because you just get the hardcore people complaining, all I see is Dratini this event, where are the Bagons? Like, there is no winning to when a new player comes in. And if a new player comes in and they're like, oh man, Rattata isn't spawning for 6 months, you can either be like, here, let me trade you a Rattata and Eradicate. Okay, cool, that was 100 Stardust. All right, you happy? Okay, move on. If they really wanted to, so not only could they cut Rattata out for like 9 months of the year and bring it back for only 3 months, which I think they're going to do. Maybe Rattata's not like a good example. Maybe like, because like Rattata has like a specific metal to it. So like maybe Skitty is a better example, because Skitty is trash. Well, I mean, I love Skitty, but it's like a trash spawn.
Skitty is already a rare spawn.
Skitty is not a rare spawn. I see like 4 Skitties a day.
I see none.
Really? I don't see Skitty ever.
I see Skitty nonstop.
I would love to see more Skitty.
I mean, this begins the question of what are they fixing with seasons that they don't already fix with weather and biome?
What did they fix with seasons that they're not fixing with weather or biome? Cutting Pokemon. That's literally what it does.
But based on the article literally saying in the first season you're going to see Pokemon related to winter in the northern hemisphere and related to summer in the southern hemisphere. They're literally saying that those Pokemon are already related to winter and summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so those Pokemon you're mentioning aren't related to winter and summer.
They're not related to a season at all.
Yeah, they're not related to a season. Whereas they're pointing out specific.
Not every Pokemon, like there's still going to be like exceptions to that. Like there even in the games, even if you were to go to Black and White and it's like the winter season, you're still going to see like Abra or whatever in the grass. Like, I wouldn't say Abra is a winter Pokemon, but hey, it just spawns like winter, summer, and fall, and it doesn't spawn in spring. Like,
I guess my point is that I don't think that like, if Rattata is deemed a springtime Pokemon, that there is a 0% chance I will see it in the fall.
Okay, so
maybe it's not going to spawn nearly as much, but I do think that like they're still going to have other Pokemon spawn.
They can fix this easily, right? So here's an example, and again, this is some speculation. If they say like, okay, Skitty is only spawning in the winter seasons, Purloin is only spawning in the spring seasons. We'll just do those for example, because they're both bad cat Pokemon. That doesn't mean that there can't be an event in the springtime event that isn't like the delightful cat egg event where Skitty, Purloin, and Litten are spawning in eggs, right? So they can cut Pokemon from seasons, but then they can force bring them back in events. So what they're doing now, what they would be doing with this base work is cutting specific Pokemon. So you can be like, man, Rattata only spawns in the winter season, but hey, there's a berry and squirrel event happening, and Squavit, Rattata, and Amoonguss are now spawning in March. And they can bring Pokemon back through events. They've already technically have been doing this for the last year, of forcing Pokemon spawns to feel special. The only thing seasons are really doing is setting a precedent of you now accepting that Pokemon are gone. And once people accept Pokemon are gone, then they feel more obligated to play during the months they come back, because they're introducing another level of FOMO.
I mean, I agree with that part. I just don't think that's going to apply to Pidgey, Rattata, Bidoof. I don't think they're getting rid of those base
Right.
base first routes throughout.
That if they don't get rid of those
region.
base first rounds, I just don't feel like then there are seasons, because there's just so many Pokemon now that they need to like separate them.
Yeah, I don't know, and I guess that
I agree that they should. I don't think they will. Like, I don't think they're going to take away Rattata Pidgey spawns, Zubat spawns, ever. Like, I don't think those are ever going away. I don't think they're going to say, we're limiting these incredibly trashy normal types to spring only. No, they are just going to always be the baseline. And the things that have strong rarity, things that people are looking for, are the things that people will feel like they're missing out on and will want to come back for. I don't think that applies to the Route 1 trashes. I think those are going to be stuck forever, no matter what you do.
If they were to like say Caterpie's not spawning until spring, and then somebody who like they're like missing a shiny Caterpie, and then spring comes around and they're like, Caterpie's back. Did you missed him? Here he is. People would be like, oh man, Caterpie's back, and now that's the shiny I want. Like I think there's something. Okay, to bring it back to Sword and Shield, literally everyone, including myself, we did the same dumb thing in the Isle of Armor. We were like, oh my gosh, look at a Politoed. And then you're like, whoa, wow, look at a Cramorant. And you're like, oh wait, no, Cramorant's not new. But like, you have that thing of being like, oh, look at all these Pokemon that are returning. And then you do the same thing for the Crown Tundra, where you're like driving through and you're like, whoa, look at a Jinx. Oh, wait, hold on, that's a Jinx. But you're like, you have that like art.
I don't think that is universal.
But you have that like second of excitement because, as the Pokemon Company has proven, for some reason, we get really nostalgic about Pokemon they take away from us, and then they bring it back. I think seasons are going to be a bit more extreme in removing Pokemon than I feel like you guys are giving credit for.
I have not seen any hint of that from what they've put out.
Did you read the rest of the article regarding that season of celebration research situation?
I think I just closed it.
It looks like there's going to be... So starting on December 1st at 8 a.m., the first season will begin. The season of celebration. Pokemon originally discovered in the Kalos region will be appearing in Pokemon Go. To celebrate their arrival, Professor Willow is embarking on a quest to research the different regions of the Pokemon world. During the season, so it sounds like during the entire season, trainers will be able to participate in a series of in-game events featuring Pokemon first discovered in different regions. Whether you're a fan of Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, or Kalos, Pokemon originally discovered in each of these regions will be appearing as Professor Willow looks to discover and celebrate their rich histories.
Yeah, that's like the same as they've done for like Unova. Like they did that for Unova, they did that for Sinnoh, they did that for Hoenn. But
they did them like immediately, right? It sounds like it's going to like happen throughout the 3 months. So I'm just going back to your point of like they can have these events where it's like not everything. They can bring back Skitty in like this is a Hoenn specific one, even though it's like Skitty's a springtime Pokemon, but like here it is now for a little bit during this season or something like that. Like
I would also probably say like I don't think that just because Spheal might be a winter Pokemon doesn't mean that Spheal is always going to appear the same 3 months. Like I feel like it could be possible where like they just go like, well, we're gonna do Spheal for like I don't think one Pokemon would be specific to a month either. They could do like Rattata is both spring and summer and now it's gone, but that doesn't mean that coming spring and summer of next year it's going to be Rattata again. It could just be maybe Rattata's for spring next year. Like I think they can. I don't think anything is set in stone. I just think the exciting thing about seasons is that they're saying like, here are X amount of Pokemon for 3 months, and we are not afraid to cut the other X amount of Pokemon for the time being. That's ultimately what I think.
That would be, I'm excited to see this for sure. I'm excited to see what they end up doing with it. What you're saying would be great if they did something like that. Will they act on it? We'll see. Also, they talk about like Darumaka being available in
the other hemisphere,
like summer. But like, does that mean will Galarian Darumaka be available in our hemisphere since it's like seems like it's a winter type Pokemon? Like, will forms be different? Will they change? Will they do things like that? Or I wonder if it'll just be the Pokemon species specifically.
Yeah.
Like, could you have like, because they have forms, these different like forms and stuff now, like, could you have like maybe a Alolan Rattata in the fall and regular Rattata in the spring? So you're getting a Rattata of some kind, either whether you're in each hemisphere in there during those seasons.
Because right now I see both all the time.
Right.
So yeah, they could do a thing where they
and they do on a shorter time span do the whole like, well, they did at one point. I'm not sure how much it still works this way, but the whole night and day thing, right? Like you're much more likely to see an Alolan Rattata at night or like a Houndour at night because it's dark type and all that stuff, or like they were doing for a while, or they have like Pokemon that were more apparent at night than daytime. So they've done these kinds of things in the past on a much shorter timeline.
Okay, level 50. This is what everyone seems to be talking about. But for the first time since the game's launch, leveling up in Go will be rebalanced. There are many features and changes made to the games over the years. We are revisiting them to make leveling more fun. Trainers who have reached level 40 will soon have the opportunity to level up to 50, being one of the first bragging rights as a level 50 trainer if you're up for the challenge. For players who haven't reached level 40, you'll find leveling up is easier than before for various adjustments of ways you can earn XP. And then what they're doing is they worded this very specifically. If you're a Legacy 40 trainer, not a Legacy trainer, there are plenty of people who started the game on, what day did it launch? Like December or July 7th or something?
July 6th is my start date.
Yeah, July 6th.
I believe you can have the 5th if you're like in Australia or something, but I think July 6th is like the first day.
Yeah, July 6th for me too. But if you're a Legacy 40 trainer, so if you are level 40 by December 31st at midnight, you will earn an exclusive Gyarados hat and a special Legacy 40 medal. To help trainers get to 40 faster, Double Catch XP will be live until the rest of the year, if you didn't get that memo. Additionally, trainers will be able to power up Pokemon higher than a level before. And there's a bunch of stuff here. Australia already has this. Australia's Niantic's guinea pig, I guess.
Yeah.
But like one of the examples for I think level 41 was, and these could change I guess because technically it's not rolled out, was you had to catch like 200 Pokemon in a single day, plus have a certain amount of XP, plus do like 2 other things.
Yeah, they've kind of listed out sort of what each of the levels is.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Australia has like the actual tasks, but
I have 46 right here in front of me, which is complete 100 field research tasks, take a snapshot of a Pokemon 7 days in a row, make 50 excellent throws, and then hatch 30 eggs. Plus, you need the minimum XP that they want from you, which here it says 15 million XP, which that doesn't make sense to me because you need 20 million XP to be level 40.
15 million XP on top of whatever level 45.
Oh, I see.
So like level 41 shows you it's like level 41 shows you it's you have so much out of that plus like 6 million. Like I think it's to level 41 it's 6 million more XP than whatever you have.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what? Are they lowering the XP? Why is it 15 million? It's 20 million to get to level 40. That's like a kind of a weird way to communicate it.
Yeah, I think it like looks kind of weird the way that they have it set up as well. But I don't know if that means. So wait, does that mean let's say you have what is it? So it's 20 million to get to level 40, right?
Yep.
So if you have, and let's say it says like 6 million XP to get to 41. Let's say you have 30 million XP total. Does that mean you've already cleared the 6 million, or do you need to get 6 million more from the moment that this opens up?
So I got a response from Niantic from this. Your XP rolls over. So if you have 40,000 XP, 40 million XP,
40 million.
You would be clear to at least get to 46, because 46 you just need a bonus 15 million. So that would be 35, I think.
Okay.
If I'm reading that right.
Yeah. That
Anyways,
sounds...
your XP rolls over. So if you have 60 million XP, you're good for the first couple levels. You just have to do the task. Your tasks do not roll over. So if you've completed if you completed 2,000 field research and you get to level 46, once you get to 46, you have to then complete another 100 field tasks. Same for like with Team Go Rocket. I think it's like level 45. You need to do like battle 100 Team Go Rocket grunts. If you already battled 300, that doesn't count. You have to, once you get there, you have to battle another 100 to complete that task. So the only thing rolling over is your XP levels.
Okay. And that makes sense. That makes sense why the tasks are added, because, you've got your people out there with hundreds of millions of XP. And so, yeah.
But you get nothing for being level 50. I think you get like avatar items, but there's no gameplay changes here. So for example, once you hit level 40, you can power your Pokemon up to level 50 without you being 50. And you can power up your Pokemon past level 40, from 40 to 50 by using the new XL candy. And there's multiple ways to earn XL candy. You can earn it by trading. You can earn it from hatching Pokemon. I believe you can earn it from raids. But you use the XL candy to power a Pokemon from level 40 to level 50, but you yourself don't have to be 50. Nothing changes for you as a player character if you were 42 or if you were 48. Nothing matters. It's just literally bragging rights. So
except that the real game begins.
Yeah, except correct.
Oh my gosh.
The real game begins.
I mean, I'm still not even level 40, and I'm not going to get to level 40 before December 31st.
You don't think so?
That.
What level are you, Greg?
I'm 38 3/4.
You can do
you
it.
could get there before December 31st.
Don't you want the Gyarados hat?
How am I going to do this in a month?
They've doubled the XP catching for the rest of the year.
It's 4 million to get there, and one catch is like
200 XP.
Well, if you're enough of a sucker,
most. Greg,
you'll do 50 Heatran raids with remote raid passes and not get the shiny.
I am not that much of a sucker.
You're getting double hearts right now when you open a gift.
Yeah.
And you could open 45 gifts a day.
Yeah, that would require my buddy to bring me gifts.
Yeah, no, you can open them. Have people send you gifts. And then open 45, and that's 2 hearts a day. And then just pop a lucky egg.
2 hearts for what?
Oh, like friendship hearts?
Friendship hearts. Because you need 7 hearts for great friends, and then 30 hearts for ultra friends, and then what?
90 days of hearts for best friends, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
Hey, look, I'm trying to set you up for success.
I mean, y'all can send me stuff. I mean, I'll open your gifts. But since my buddy is absolutely refusing to bring me gifts back, this is not going to be a mutual street. I can tell you that much.
I think the overall challenge of getting to level 50, I think it's cool. I think maybe some people might get frustrated that they can't do it very quickly. But obviously it's not designed to do quickly. And also it doesn't matter. I'm sure there's going to be like it's like that one person you meet at the grocery store. You're like waiting in line. They're like wearing like a tank top and they're like kind of like looking at their muscles until you look over to them. And then they're like, "Hey man, just to let you know, I do CrossFit." And you're like, "Yeah, I don't need to know that." But that's like literally every Pokemon Go player in Go. They're like, "Oh, are you playing Pokemon Go?" And you're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I'm level 40." And you're like, "Geez, I didn't even ask. Like, why are you telling me? Like, I don't care." Like it's like they're the same person is what I'm saying. Like none of this actually matters. But you better believe as soon as I get 50, I'm letting you guys know every single podcast.
Oh, I know. I text with you on a continual basis. You're the worst.
I'm excited though. I think the challenge thing is fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people have been wanting this since the beginning, or since like people hit level 40, and for, because we're human, everybody needs like what they consider like an end goal for a game, right? They can't just like be okay with what it is. And so this is another nice goal for people to hit. That again doesn't mean anything, but it's a nice something to progress.
Did we miss anything? Is that everything? XL Candy,
name's
level
dumb.
cap. What?
Go Beyond is dumb.
Oh, the name.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You know what I
there's
was
the
gonna...
12 days of friendship event.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's going on now. That's not.
Yeah, but that's not really any. Yeah. Yep.
I was gonna say it's not. Sorry, I skipped this from the Kalos stuff. It's not that exciting to me for the Kalos stuff because like Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, Bunnelby, Fletchling, Litleo are gonna appear in the wild. If you're in France, you get Klefki. But Bunnelby is the garbage rat Pokemon we just spent 20 minutes talking about. It is the new Rattata. It is the new Patrat. So you'll be able to find, what do you think, 50 candy to evolve it? So what is that? Like, you get 6, so you need like 10 of them? You can, you can find 10 of them probably within 4 minutes, and now, cool, you did it. You now have Bunnelby, and you now have Diggersby in like 10 minutes.
Diggersby, yo!
Then that leaves like Fletchling and Litleo, which might be like slightly harder, although Fletchling's like the garbage Pidgey, although Fletchling's like significantly better than Pidgey in like every way.
In pretty much every way.
Fletchling will be like the 125 candy to get the Talonflame.
Yeah, but because you need 25 and then you need about 100.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't hard with P-Dove and Unpheasant. Like they were everywhere. And then Litleo is whatever. So that just leaves like Froakie, Fennekin, and Chespin. And this is like the new, not new, it's just like the thing that in Pokemon Go where you go, why would I bother hunting for these? Because they're going to be the hardest ones out of the 6 Pokemon to find. Even if I found like 5 in a day and I get to Braxton, I'm going to have to spend so much time and effort to get to Delphox, but also I get punished for evolving to Delphox because I didn't wait for Community Day. And also, why would I spend the time looking for these? I guess to maybe like brag that I have them? Or maybe one of them or 2 of them are really good for PvP and I need it for PvP. Why don't I just wait for Community Day where they have the best move and I don't have to do any work and they just come to me in my house with an incense?
Well, this comes back to, I mean, right, because we're already caught up, right? We're already caught up to Kalos. So, I mean, the one thing they could do is just the Community Day never involves the starters for Gen 6. Like, they just cut that off and they don't do, or they do it way later. But I mean, it goes back to just like, you know, if you like collecting Pokemon, then you might hunt them and want to collect them. I mean, you can wait too, but I mean, I do miss the days of, I guess this was like Gen 2 when like they just dropped all of them. Yeah. Right. Like that was amazing. That was so cool to just, I mean, they had the babies and the eggs, but to walk out one day and it was just all of these Pokemon. There were so many new Pokemon. I mean, I know there was only 100 total in Gen 2, but that was amazing. And I feel like they never really got back to that because they want to like
dribble them out.
You know, like, yeah, they want to do the drip feed. But yeah, I guess my point is that I just really miss like the just dropping an entire generation. And, you know, if they could come up with like a different way to keep people, they have so many ways to keep people interested in the game at this point, right? They have raids and they have PvP and they have like trading. They're opening up long distance trading. And it almost seems like with so many different things to do, like you could really drop more than just 7 and not have to worry about people being really bored in a couple months. You know, like come time for like a Lola in a year, like it'd be great if they just dropped the whole generation for Gen 7 at once, because there's so many other things to keep people interested that even if I do get them all in the first couple months they're out, there's still a lot you can do and not feel like, oh, I'm bored because there's not a new Pokemon to catch.
I don't think I've evolved Oshawott, Tepig, or Snivy yet because like I have really good ones. Like I have 100 IV Tepig. And I just like Niantic has just taught me that I get punished for not waiting for the specific day to evolve it.
Yeah, because we can't TM them during the Community Day. It's like exactly. There are some Pokemon who, I mean, even more rare Pokemon. Like I have 100% IV Gibble, and I'm just like, well, like I feel like there will eventually be, even though it's already shining game, there'll be a Gibble Community Day, so I'm just not gonna evolve it until then.
Right. But like I remember at the second ever Go Fest, there was 100 IV Mudkip, And there was like some guy who, Mudkip, 100 IV right here, 100 IV Mudkip. And like all these people came running over and I caught it. And I was like, oh, cool, 100 IV Mudkip, sweet. And then, I evolved it to Swampert. And then the community day happened. And I don't have Hydro Cannon on it.
I mean, but is Hydro Cannon really that worth it? Like, what are you using that move for?
Like, Swampert is, like, super good in PvP because of Hydro Cannon.
But are you PvPing?
No, because I don't have Hydro Cannon.
I don't think that's the thing that's holding you back.
It is.
I mean, I just literally used an elite TM on a Swampert to turn it to Hydro Cannon to trade to somebody for a lucky trade because they wanted it so bad with Hydro Cannon.
Now, that's wise money spent.
I didn't spend the Elite TM came from I didn't spend money on an Elite TM. Come on, I'm not that much of a sucker. Remote raids, incubators.
Yeah, they haven't got me there. They've got me here.
But
it's fine. It's whatever. And then I think they're rolling out. Did they mention this in the press release? I know we know this because it's already live in Australia, but there's platinum medals now. So instead of gold medals, you can now earn platinum medals. Like, I think, for example, one of the platinum medals, and again, I don't think it's final because it's not rolled out, but technically in testing in Australia, I think one of them is the Pikachu. So Pikachu is like, catch 3 Pikachu for bronze, catch 50 Pikachu for silver, catch 300 Pikachu for gold, and then I think it's catch 1,000 Pikachu for platinum.
Yeesh. They mentioned the platinum medals because it says you have to get a certain number of platinum medals before getting to 43.
Yeah, I think it's like 6. Article.
But there was just that one mention of it. And then before they dropped the test in Australia, people were like, wait a second, what's a platinum medal? Like, oh, okay. Wow, 1,000 Pikachu, huh? Is what
Yeah, I'm up to 800.
Yeah, what am I at for Pikachu? I'm at 1,482.
All right, well, Bobby's not allowed on the show anymore.
Where do you see this?
You have to click your face, and then you have to just scroll down under your gym badges to the medals, and then tap the Pikachu one.
Got a Pikachu in the middle.
Pikachu fan?
Yep.
I have 205 Pikachus.
Well, you're not to that platinum one yet, I guess.
Nope, nor do I care.
You don't know what you're missing at level 40.
I do know what I'm missing. It is absolutely nothing. You have attempted to show me your great skills, and I'm like, and you have no follow-up. You're like, look at this great medal that I have,
and you're in tears that you can't experience the amazing gameplay. I'm gonna be having so much fun at 50, and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I could have this much fun in life.
Please tell me when that happened when you were level 40 for 3 years. Please point to the time and date and photographic evidence of me being upset at you being 40 in the last 3 years.
Look, I haven't.
Well, we're not allowed
gone to Walgreens to develop the pictures yet, but there are countless pictures of smiles on my face for being level 40.
But
yeah,
that doesn't. You faking smiles for a camera isn't the question. It's you showing me in tears because I'm not experiencing this glorious world that you pretend exists.
We're not allowed to let people actually know how glorious it is.
Right.
We signed an NDA. When you hit level 40, you sign an NDA with the Pokemon company.
Correct.
And you're not allowed to let people under level 40.
Look, this is the internet. I know where Reddit is. I know who breaks NDA. I have done the research. It doesn't exist.
Greg, give us our question of the week.
Question of the week. Let's hear that question of the week. I know you aren't, because you're focusing on what your world's going to be like at level 50, and it's nothing.
This is from Franco in our Slack community. For somebody who's new to Pokemon and wants to experience every region, what is the correct combination of games to play in what order?
Let's Go, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, the remakes of Sinnoh next year, Black and White 2, XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield.
Gosh, okay, well, you're wrong. No one should ever play Sun and Moon. Play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Sun and Moon has the better story.
Sun and Moon has the longer story.
It's the better story.
Yeah, it's definitely better. That's like saying like, you know, you want to read.
It's like saying the real game starts at 40.
No,
yes,
it's like
it is.
saying like, do you want to read like Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham, or do you want to read Dr. Seuss's like Go Dog Go? Like sure,
both are classics.
One is like slightly better than the other, but I don't think like
it's because you don't like story because you're a game gobbler.
no, I do
Right.
like
Well,
story.
you
I
don't.
think that. I mean,
You never
like,
read it. I've seen you skip like a million times.
What are you talking about?
You have had to ask me on multiple occasions, on multiple games, what happened in the story.
Final Fantasy is the worst at telling a story
It
because
is
they're
not!
like they'll do like 3 lines of voice acting and they'll read it as slow as possible. And then by the time like the story starts to get good, then they like cut the voice acting and then you have to read it yourself.
They give you reading at the bottom. You can click and skip over the voice acting. You don't have to wait. You can just read. But again, you are opposed to reading story.
I have read every line of dialogue on my stream recorded for every Pokemon game.
Yeah, because you have to now.
I don't have to. But look, there's only so much I can be called Big D before I'm like, come on, dude.
Well, don't pick Big D.
Well, it was either that or Little P.
I mean, Little P is more accurate.
wait, why Big D?
Look, you play X and Y?
No, what's the D though for?
D for...
Oh, Bobby.
Well, I don't think we're allowed to answer that question on this podcast, unfortunately.
Jesus.
As it turns out. D is for dog, Bobby. Jeez, get your mind out of the gutter.
Big dog.
Big dog. What was the question? Oh, this is a hard question to answer because, like, you have to buy hardware and games to go through
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
You do.
If you have a Switch, I think getting both Let's Go and Sword and Shield's good.
Yeah.
If you have a 3DS, I think X and Y, Omega Ruby, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are the way to go. I don't think you go older than that, though, honestly. Like, if you're really hardcore, I guess you go back to Black and White, is what I would suggest.
Yeah. I mean, but it does say every region.
He said every region though, yeah.
So you have to go back because
think
they
that
haven't been remade.
I think that you have to go through the struggle that we went through. As
No,
kids,
I don't.
or when it
No,
first came out.
that's how you
No.
turn off
and hit
Pokemon
up
fans.
Virtual
The-
Console, Red,
The
Blue, or
virtual
Yellow.
console games are so bad. When you play them again, you're like, this is torture. This is actual torture.
But it
This
makes you
game
appreciate
is
the
so
newer
slow.
games so much more.
No, it doesn't. It makes you hate them because you've experienced how good life can be, and then you're like, you know what? I love having shoes and comfortable padding, but instead, I'm gonna walk on nails. I
So
could go back to
appreciate my
shoes.
shoes way more.
But I'm just gonna walk on nails for 20 hours. 20 hours so that I appreciate my shoes more? And everybody's like, you don't have to walk on nails. There's literally an older pair of shoes. They remade that path with better shoes. Like, nah. Nails only.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you don't have a Switch and you want to play Kanto, you could either try to find Leaf Green or Fire Red for whatever.
Ugh.
Can you even play that on 3DS?
No.
You can't even play that on 3DS, right?
We can
No,
play it on the
so-
old ones.
So you got to go Virtual Console.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
mean,
have to.
yeah.
Don't do it. It's bad.
Okay, if
It's a bad
in an
idea.
ideal situation, if somebody had access to games and consoles, and I guess somebody who is new to Pokemon wants to experience every region, that's like
And has all those consoles and games, but never experienced it
We
already.
are-
like making a bet on like where, like what is going to be entertaining enough for them to go through. This is what I would say. I would say you start with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Then you go
Greatest games.
Then you go
Yes.
to X and Y, because I think X and Y is a step up in like discoverability and like variety.
It is a step down in gameplay.
What?
X and Y is so much worse than Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
In what? In like what?
In every way.
I don't think so.
Wow. I don't know if I agree with that.
Because not every way, because like literally and figuratively, I don't know, whatever use both words, please. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire has HMs, and while X and Y does have
Omega
HMs,
Ruby Alpha Sapphire lets you fly on a Latias around the world on a jet Pokemon, and has every legendary and all the megas, including new ones, and it's a great story. X and Y is weirdly paced and hasn't things happen.
Oh, they both have flaws, but I think the thing that
they all have flaws.
The thing that X and Y has going for it is it begins the removing of HMs, which for whatever reason, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire went 800 steps back on. And they're just like, hey, look, to the point where they're like, Rock Smash isn't even an HM, and they require you to have it to get through one route over and over again, even after you Rock Smashed it. It's so frustrating. And there's no character customization, because they went back on that. Because they're like, hey, this kid called Brendan with a dumb hat, you gotta be him, and you're not allowed to change his hat.
That hat is amazing, and he has an incredible story.
Like, X and Y is so good at making the character feel like you and giving you a huge variety of Pokemon to catch early on, which I think is a huge plus for anyone getting into Pokemon. Whereas, like, even though I think Let's Go is a good game, what is your Route 1 experience? Rattata and Pidgey. Cool.
Yeah, but you are new to this. You have to learn the basics.
That's why
new.
I'm
you don't
saying
be overwhelmed.
You learn with the garbage basics of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which is limited Pokemon on the beginning routes, no character customization, and suffer through HMs, because this is the last game where you'll actually have to suffer through HMs before you get to X and Y, where they hugely scale back on HMs. They give you a huge variety of Pokemon. You can be yourself as a trainer. Then you move to Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, get to experience all that again. Then you move to Sword and Shield. And then if you were to make it through those 4 games, then I would say that you're clearly desperate and dying for more Pokemon content. Then I would say you go to Black and White. That would be my order.
Okay, so
and just
in
never
your
see
order,
Gen 4.
Yeah,
where are you putting Almia and Ore? Because those are still 2 regions, and the question does say every region.
Oh my god!
So
have
where
the
are you
answer.
where are you getting Ore, and which one are you doing for Almia? Because Ore, the only answer is Gales of Darkness.
You find a trash can and or a Grimer, and then you throw those games into that.
No, because those are good games. Which of the Ranger game? Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia is a good game.
I never played it, but I'll take your word for it.
Also, then we would have to also do the region of Foray, which is the first Ranger game. So you have to play both Rangers. You have to play Gales of Darkness and all the main games to experience every region that Pokemon has to offer.
Okay, so
And if you really want to jump into one more, you hit up Tumblecube Island and play Pokemon Quest, because it's wonderful.
Yeah. Disregard everything,
region.
just play Quest.
Is Tumblecube Island a region?
I don't know. I guess it could technically probably be somewhere in Kanto that was just never discovered.
I mean,
Meltan's
Meltan's in Kanto was never discovered.
True.
That garbage Pokemon.
I'm gonna, because there's no question of the week, I'll bless you guys with an email sent in. This is from Taylor.
Pokemon of the week, because Will's out? Because we just did questions.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No Pokemon of the week, because Will's out. That's what I said. This is from Taylor from West Des Moines, Iowa. Listening to this week's podcast made me appreciate Steve's perspective on the new transporter and Pogo in general. I understand people are frustrated, but in times like these, when everyone's frustrated about everything, it's nice to hear that it isn't a burn it all down take. I also agree with games and apps making you turn your phone sideways. It's the worst. Thanks for what you guys do. It's always a bright spot of my week. Thank you, Taylor. I would like to replace Greg and Bobby on the show with you, so
hey,
we have
Bobby.
a perfect echo chamber of
how much you want to bet he wrote that himself?
Yeah.
Look, if I wrote it myself, I wouldn't say I'm from Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, you would, because literally your knowledge of geography is the Midwest. I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't in Wisconsin.
No, I would have wrote
You'd been like Racine, Wisconsin.
No,
Hi, this is Tyler
no one
from
wants to live in
Racine.
Racine.
This is Tyler from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah, no one wants
this
to go
is
to Appleton either.
Taylor Surumi from Appleton, Wisconsin.
That's our show for the week. Socials, all PKMNcast on YouTube. We're trying to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. So I think we're at like 7,500 on YouTube. YouTube.com/PKMNcast. Same as Instagram. Same as TikTok. Same as Twitch. Twitch.tv/PKMNcast. I will be streaming on Thanksgiving. I know that a lot of people won't be traveling or might not be able to see family and friends on Thanksgiving, and spending holidays alone sucks. So if you need something to do to get your mind off things, to talk to other human beings, I will be live, twitch.tv/PKMNcast on Thanksgiving. Pretty much be live for like 10 hours or so. So from like noon to midnight, that's 12 hours, but I'm going to bet that I'm going to start a little late, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Probably start at
Sleeping
close.
in.
I say 12, but I'm probably going to start at 1.
Hey, what time did you start your community day stream? Because I think you said 11 a.m.
I started at noon. To be fair, I woke up at 11. But then I was like, I have to eat and set up. Okay, so I'll be streaming on Thanksgiving. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, PKMNcast. Greg is at White Wing on Twitter. Bobby, what do you want? You want Twitter? You want Instagram?
Twitter. I need to get the names the same. It's really annoying for even me. Twitter, PKMN Snaps. Instagram, PKMN.snaps.
Yeah, you need a universe. Just do a whole brand change.
Yeah. You need to fix that, Bobby. Branding is everything.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're willing to pay $5 million to Pokemon Go. Hire a consultant.
I'll work on it.
All right, we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super! Seasons are coming, and they won't do what Steve says.
Oh, that's so true.
This podcast is supported by our Patreon supporters, people that give us money. Our producers of the show are Kevin, Casey, Patrick, Jetsy, Matthew, Kay, Catherine, Steph, Brian, and Courtney. And our executive producers are Spencer and Anthony. Thank you, everyone who listens to the podcast, and thank you, everyone who takes the extra mile to support us over on Patreon. We did, as of this month, update our Patreon address, so it is now patreon.com/PKMNcast. Same as the Twitter, the Twitch, the YouTube, the Instagram, everything is all universal now. It is the same. So if you're listening to an older episode where we say that, it's wrong now. And of course the isc.cash up and working, redirecting to that new domain. Thank you again. If you want to support the show, you can head over to isc.cash or patreon.com/PKMNcast, PKMNcast. And I appreciate you guys listening, appreciate the support, and we will see you next week.